Good day, everyone. So, our topic for today is all about evidences of validity. So, we have here the face validity and content validity. So, face validity, it is the content of the measure appears to reflect the construct being measured. It assessed through judgment and non-expert ratings. Face validity typically makes test takers happy. So, ang ginahatag na test is within the level of the student's understanding. O gina-check ang test papers nga ginahimo sa every teacher because naman jay ubad mga teacher na maghimo-himo ra sila og ilahang questionnaire based sa ilang level of understanding, which is hard to understand for the students. And also naapoy mga errors like in grammars, so dapat kina-check jud siya para effective ang usa ka assessment. So, we have here the 3 questions in the given case of face validity. So, ini siya. So, number 1, what can be done in order to ensure that the assessment appears to be effective? So, like what I've said earlier nga, ang test papers is gina-check siya if the instructions are clear, kung correct na ba ang mga grammars o ang vocabulary sa test questionnaires is within the student's level of understanding. So, in that way, effective ang usa ka assessment. So, number 2, what practices are done in conducting face validity? So, face validity involves the expert looking at the items in the questionnaire, and agreeing that the test is a valid measure of the concept, which is being measured just on the face of it. So, this means that they are evaluating whether each of the measuring items matches any given conceptual domain of the concept. So, number 3 question, why is face validity is the weakest form of validity? So, because it is the easiest form of validity, however, it doesn't generally include much in the way of objective measurements. So therefore, it is often criticized as the weakest form of validity. So the test would be valid if the test would be valid if it accurately measured intelligence. So that's it.
Good day, everyone. So now let's proceed to the content validity. It is the degree to which all items and an instrument represent all of the facets of the variable being measured. So from the word itself, content, mao ni siya ang sulod, which is gina-check na to if the test and the objective is aligned to each other using the specification containing the objectives of the lessons and the corresponding items. So there are 2 ways that are widely used to assess the content validity of a measure. First, the content validity can be assessed by asking a number of questions about the instrument or test. Second, the content validity can be assessed by asking for the experts or judges of the field. So in the given case in the module, which is the coordinator in science is checking the science test paper for grade 4. She asked the grade 4 science teacher to submit the TOS containing the objectives of the lessons and corresponding items. The coordinator check whether each item is aligned with the objectives. So in this case, so it use the second ways to assess the content validity of a measure, which is it assessed by asking for the experts or judges of the field. So there are four ways in the given case of content validity. First, what are the objectives used when creating test items? So as we all know, 'di ba, we are based sa Bloom's taxonomy when we are creating a objectives. So dapat sad ang atong test items is dapat naka-base food siya sa objectives sa atong based on the objectives of our lessons, since ang objectives and the test items should align to each other, since the test items is needed to directly measure tips. So second, how is content validity determined when given the objectives and the items in the test? So the test item has a content validity when it measures knowledge of content domains, which is designed also to measure the knowledge. Third, what should be present in a test table of specifications when determining content validity? So in the table of specification or TOS, so dapat it has it contains a objectives of the lessons and the corresponding items, which is also aligned to each other as what I've said earlier. So dapat aligned siya, which is ang test is dapat nakabase siya sa objectives kung unsa man atong objectives sa atong lessons. So fourth, who check the content validity of items? So the one who check the content validity of the items is the coordinator of a particular subject or the expert of that particular field. So they are the one to check the content validity of the item. So gina-check if ang objectives ba gyud sa lessons and the test items is kuan ba siya, connected ba siya to each other. So that's all.
Hey everyone, this is Jenny May Kabusog. So my topic is convergent validity, refers to how closely the new skill is related to other variables and other measures of the same construct. Not only should the construct correlate with related variables, but it should not correlate with the similar unrelated ones. So what should a test have in order to conduct convergent validity? To measure the convergent validity of your test, you must demonstrate that there is a positive correlation between measures of related constructs. In other words, if you have two related skills, people who have scored high on one skill, you should score high on the other as well. So how are the results and convergent validity interpreted? Assessing convergent validity as an alternative process, the more hypotheses are tested, the stronger the evidence towards the instrument being valid. Convergent validity is generally considered adequate if 75% of hypotheses are correct, or if a correlation with an instrument measuring the same construct is 0.50.
Hello, my name is Nihaya H. Limbona. Now, I will discuss the evidence for discriminant validity or divergent validity. Discriminant validity provides when a measure of construct that theoretically should not be highly related to each other are in fact not found to be related to each other. Discriminant validity is used when the components or factors of a test or hypothesis to have a negative correlations. So what conditions are needed to conduct divergent validity or discriminant validity? You need to demonstrating that there is no correlation or very low correlation between measures of unrelated constructs. So how are the results interpreted? When if it shows you how will a test measures that concept it was designed to measure. So, for example, of measuring discriminant validity is, you suppose you are researching narcissistic personality disorder. You have developed a questionnaire to measure narcissism. To assess the discriminant validity of your test, you compare the scores of the test measuring narcissism with the scores of another unrelated test. There is evidence in academic literature that people who exhibit traits of narcissistic personality do not tend to exhibit agreeableness, since there should no relationship between narcissism and agreeableness. There is a good option for an unrelated test.
Good day everyone, I will be the one who assigned to report the predictive validity. Predictive validity. In statistics, the term predictive validity refers to the extent that it's valid to use the score on the sum scale or test to predict the value of the some other variable in the future. For example, we might want to know how well some college entrance exam is able to predict the first semester grade point average of the student. To determine if predictive validity exists, we will use the following. Administer the college entrance exam to 1,000 seniors, and 1 year later collect the data on the first semester GPA of the same 1,000 students, and calculate the correlation between the score on the entrance exam and the first semester exam and the first semester GPA. If there is a high correlation between score on the entrance exam and the first semester GPA, it's likely that there is a predictive validity between these two variables. In other words, the score that a student receives on the particular college entrance exam is a predictive of the GPA they likely to receive during their first semester in college. For example, student who got high score and entrance exam, magkakabot sila high score sa ilahang average sa first semester. Then, ang student po nga makakuha og low score sa entrance exam, tend to earn low GPA during their first semester. Predictive validity is a type of criterion validity which refers to how the measurement of one variable can predict the response of other variable. One variable is referred to as explanatory variable, while other variable is referred to as the response variable or criterion variable. In our previous example, the explanatory variable will be the entrance exam and the criterion variable will be the first semester GPA. Thank you.
Good day, everybody. My name is Godwin EDU-533, and today I'm going to discuss to you the concurrent validity. Concurrent validity is used when two or more measures are present for each examinee that measure the same characteristics. The scores on the measures should be correlated. To make the topic more comprehensible, I will give situation on how concurrent validity has been applied or conducted. A school guidance counselor administered a math achievement test to grade 6 students. She also has a copy of the students' grades in math. She wanted to verify the math grades of the students are measuring the same competencies as the math achievement tests. The school counselor correlated the math achievement scores and math grades to determine if they are measuring the same competencies. To conduct concurrent validity, these are the three main questions that we must consider. The first one is what needs to be available when conducting concurrent validity. The second one is at least how many tests are needed for conducting concurrent validity. And the last question is, how are the results of a correlation coefficient interpreted for the concurrent validity? And that's all for today. God bless.